Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys I'm going to be profiling for you my Magician of Chaos deck, aka I guess you could call this the Magician of Chaos Max deck, or Chaos Max Ritual deck, because it does run things like Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon, Magician of Black Chaos, but mainly it's going to be focused around going for things and rituals such as Magician of Chaos, which is pretty much the main ritual you're going to be going for. So there's a multitude of different names you can consider this deck. Initially, I was going to build this deck a year ago when this came out, because I was like, oh, awesome, I can go build a ritual version of Dark Magician just like I've built a ritual version of Blue Eyes White Dragon. And then they announced that Black Magician of Chaos was going to be coming to us in the TCG, and I had already done playtesting, I had already started to construct the deck, but that just put the deck on the back burner, and I completely forgot about this deck's existence until about a month ago, I think it was, when I saw my good friend, who I love, whose deck profiles I really enjoy watching and do a deck profile of Dark Magician of Chaos, Dark Arm Duelist. Saw him do a deck profile, said, oh dang, I forgot about that deck, never got around to doing it initially. So I went back, rebuilt the deck, did some playtesting, did a little bit of changing of some ratios, and really liked the deck. I think it's very solid and straightforward for a Dark Magician deck that's a ritual version. There's not too much room for trying out different engines and trying out different ways of building the deck per se. There's different ratios and different tech options, which I'll talk about more from playtesting, but I like the way this deck functions already, so I just did a couple of adjustments for myself to make it what I felt like to make it a little more consistent. And yeah, I've really enjoyed it. So let us get into the deck profile, guys. So first off, we run 3 Magician of Chaos. This is a staple, 3 of in the deck. This is going to be your main ritual you're going to be going for. He's kind of got that Lord of a Red effect where he can pop stuff, which is nice. But the main thing is, if he's destroyed, you get to bring out from your hand a Chaos monster. So you can bring out Chaos Max or Blue Eyes Chaos Max. So you can bring these out from the deck. So the reason why I say, again, that you're mainly going to go for this is because he's a level 7. Now we do run things like Advanced Ritual Art, so we can abuse this and bring it out very easily. But the other ones are level 8, which there are ways of bringing them out per se, but this is going to be the main one to use because you'll be dumping Dark Magician from your deck to your graveyard. So I do just want to mention that. Next we run 2 Magician of Black Chaos. This guy is pretty good. He kind of is like a new age version of the original. I don't want to say he has the original effect, but he pretty much does, because if he is capable of getting spells and traps back from your graveyard, which is really nice. But he's really a good of 2 of. He is a level 8, so you have to tutor him out correctly, but he is capable. You are capable of going for him very easily. Next up, Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon. Definitely a staple 1 of in the deck, I believe, hands freaking down. Definitely a 1 of. Definitely. I tried out 2. I tried out the other version of Chaos Max. I found that card worked better in a pure Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon deck, so a deck that's more focused, quote unquote, on going for Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon and the other one, than just in this deck. So I like it as a 1 of, and instead of running a ratio of 3 of this and 1 of these, I decided to run 2 and 1, which I felt was the best ratio, and it worked out for me in the end personally. Next up, we run 3 Dark Magician. You got to run it in this deck. It's going to be essential to run it in this deck for the fact that you're going to be using it for multiple different reasons. You're going to be using it for fusions, exceeds, ritual summoning. It's going to be used a lot. So if you're familiar with how you use Blue Eyes White Dragon in Blue Eyes White Dragon Chaos Max, in some aspects, that's how you're going to be using Dark Magician. So I decided to choose some different artworks that I really like, and yeah, decided to go run with these ones. Next up, we run our Blue Eyes White Dragon. It's so cool to run a Blue Eyes White Dragon with Dark Magician in a deck. Like, it's awesome. But yeah, we just run 1 of it. This can be used in multiple different ways with Advanced Ritual Art. and it's very nice to run. I definitely run this in the deck. You can reoccur it from graveyard to use it for rituals, and just be a generic beat stick, which is cool. It also can help you go for fusions. We run 3 Magician's Rod, which I feel like is a staple 3 of in this deck. The deck is somewhat reliant upon your normal summon, and your searchers are mainly going to be Magician's Rod and Manju of 10,000 Hands to some extent, but he's definitely, I feel like, an essential 3 of in the deck. So that's just me. Next up, we run 3 Magician Souls. Ah, yes, the expensive part of this deck. So if you don't have Magician Souls, what I would suggest running to protect yourself from getting Ash Blossomed is things like Call by the Grave. If I had the space, I would probably run Call by the Grave, especially in this deck, because the fact of the matter is you don't want to get negated. But because I have Magician Souls, I'm going to run it in the deck, and it works very well in the deck and is very helpful. So 3 Magician Souls in the deck, guys. Staple 3 of if you have it. Next we have 3 Manju of 10,000 Hands. If you notice in the center, I have an Italian version of Manju. Thank you to my friend who, before the Crush card, went to Italy, and we were talking about Ezio Auditore in Assassin's Creed, and he came back and he said, haha, my friend, I brought you a Manju of 10,000 Hands from Roma. And I was like, oh, Assassin's Creed, Manju. Bad jokes, crazy things. You're probably like, what the frick is he even talking about? But yes, I love Assassin's Creed. The old school ones especially. And yeah, Italian one is really cool. I love Italian and Yu-Gi-Oh cards. They're my favorite by far. But yeah, 3 Manju of 10,000 Hands. So yeah, anytime I can get myself some hands on some Italian cards, I love them. I love them. Even if they're common. Next we run 2 Apprentice Magician. I feel like this is a staple 2 of in this deck. I wouldn't run her as a 3 of per se. I don't feel she's necessary to be run as a 3 of in the deck. I personally prefer her as a 2 of. She is another target for... You usually use her like for her own effect for a hand trap, and you'll sometimes bring her out through navigation as definitely one of your navigation targets. So I like her as a 2 of in the deck. I would not run her as a 3 of. Then we got 3 Pre-Prep of Rite. We're not going to run the original one because it does not work, so Pre-Preparation of Rites we're not going to run. But Preparation of Rites, I would definitely suggest running this as a 3 of in the deck. It's very, very nice to have because you can abuse your Black Magician of Chaos, which is nice. Next we have 3 Magician Circle. I would highly suggest running this. This is very essential on the deck, and it works well with the next card, which we're going to talk about, which is Soul Servant. But I definitely run Magician's Circle in the deck as a 3 of. I definitely feel like it's essential, and it does work well in the deck. Again, like I said, Soul Servant I feel like is a staple 3 of in this deck, hands down. It's an amazing card to work in tangent with Magician's Circle. This card is slowly going up in price, guys, so if you haven't picked it up, or you're planning to build multiple Dark Magician decks, pick it up now before it becomes a $15, $20 card. I got these cheaper back in the day. I have, I think, 9 play sets of each. 9 play sets of this. I got, well, not 9 play sets. I got it 6 originally, then I picked another 3 up a couple months ago. So pick them up now before they become an expensive card. It's going up slowly. It's going to be played in Dark Magician for the foreseeable future, I can see. Because it's that good of a card. But 3 Soul Servant, I'm not going to go into detail what it does because you guys should know that, and I want to make this video a little bit more quicker. 2 Chaos Form. Chaos Form is going to be a lot versatile. We do run Chaos Form and then also 3 Advanced Ritual Art in the deck, which I feel like is a good ratio for your ritual cards. Advanced Chaos Form is going to work really well because of your ability to bring Dark Magician back from graveyard. So say you have something out in the field like maybe Eternal Soul, right? And then you're going to go, okay, bring back Dark Magician, use Chaos Form. Now I'm going to tribute it to go for my Magician of Chaos. Okay, that's cool. Okay, now I'm going to go, maybe I'm going to bring out, I've added I have Blue Eyes in hand, right? Well, Chaos Form that. Maybe I Reborn Blue Eyes White Dragon. with Monster Reborn or something. Okay, Chaos form that to go for you know, one of the other ones. So it's very essential and works very well in the deck. I definitely like 2 Chaos form and Advanced Ritual Art because it helps set things up in graveyard. You really can abuse Eternal Soul in this deck once you get it set up, because you can just go Eternal Soul, and just Reborn your Dark Magician, and also use it for rituals. So you're really not paying a cost to go for your ritual monster, if you get what I'm trying to say, for the Black Magician of Chaos. So yeah, I like this ratio here. Works pretty well. 1 fusion. We do run Predaplant, so we can search it out and do stuff with it. I like it, but it's not essential to the deck. I like it as a one-of. It's nice, and it works with rituals in the deck, so it works well with that. 1 Monster Reborn I like in the deck as well, and that works out pretty well for me. That's all we have for the monsters. I like the Monster Reborn. Initially, I was trying out 3 of this, and then I decided to cut it, and I ran this, and then I was thinking of running things like Upstart Goblin in the deck initially. Decided to cut that, tried Call by the Grave. Like I said, I was playing around with different cards because it's pretty standard, the monster lineup and the spell lineup, but there's just a few cards where I think you can deviate from. Otherwise, you start to lose consistency in your deck. So you can play around with the ratios of this. Next up, I run 2 Eternal Soul in the deck. Eternal Soul is definitely a staple in the deck. Sorry, I dropped the other one. Like I said, you'll be able to abuse this card a lot. Just make sure it doesn't get destroyed. And then I also run 1 Magician's Navigation, which I'll just put over here. In a standard Dark Magician deck, I would run multiple Navigation, but because in this version you're going to be using Dark Magician from your deck a lot with Advanced Ritual Art and other ways to go for rituals, I don't feel the need to run more Navigation. I feel like a 1-of is perfectly fine. But Eternal Soul is a 2-of because it's really good for helping set up boards with your Dark Magician Engrave. So it's very useful. So that's the ratio I run for the main deck, guys. We'll get on to the extra deck now to talk about that a little bit more, which I feel like you can play around with the ratios per se, but it's up to you. So we have our Field Center. We have, because we're going to Duelist Kingdom later on today, guys, we have our fields, our passes. We also have our Yugi tokens, because, you know, Yugi's lost his soul to Seto Kaiba when he lost in Duelist Kingdom. If you haven't seen that episode, it's a banned episode. But let's get into the extra deck. We have Ebon, Ebon High, number 11 Big Eye, Red Eyes, Darkness, Metal Flare Dragon, which I've had for years, Dragosack. Then we also have your fusions, which is, they're nice to have. You're not always going to go for them, but especially like you'll mainly go for the Dark Magicians, and then you may go for Dark Magician the Knight sometimes, and you may sometimes go for Amulet Dragon. These you'll go less for. You'll go for them mainly in a Dark Magician deck, but yes, they are nice. 1 Salamangreat Almirage, which I run in the deck. Cross Sheep, Predaplant, Verte Anaconda, Phoenix, Nightmare, Cerberus. No. Nightmare Phoenix, Nightmare Cerberus, Nightmare Unicorn. So the Nightmare package we run. We also run Predaplant Anaconda, Cross Sheep, and Salamangreat Almirage, just in case something should happen. That's all for the deck, guys. It's like I said, it's a straightforward deck. There are ratios that I've talked about. You can change up things. There's not much to change, really. There's not much. It's like a Blue Eyes White Dragon Chaos Max deck. Everyone's the same because there's not much deviation. It just isn't. That's the way the deck has always been, and that's the way it'll probably be in the future. But this deck is fun to play. It's been one that I've had on the back burner for a long time, so I thank you for reminding me to a fellow Yugi tuber. And yeah, thank you for reminding me this deck existed. I was going to build this years ago. But yeah, guys, till next time, take care. Have fun dueling. Good luck dueling. Definitely go check out Dark Arm Dragon's channel if you have not checked it out. And I'll see you guys next time. Good luck dueling to all of you. Take care, everybody.